is to discuss and vote on support or
Which are the 20?
non-support for.
That's 10.
Oh.
Please, folks.
Okay, thanks.
These
The
are dead.
petition-
I'll keep these.
Oh,
Meeting's on, would you please keep it down?
Sorry.
Thanks. The petition warrant article. We've been working on something for the town report, and a part of that seemed to be appropriate, possibly, for a response. The petition article, I do believe everybody in their packet has a copy of it. And it is essentially calling for a full statistical revaluation and asking to pull a sum of $55,000 from the property reappraisal capital reserve fund for that purpose. And, the town has proposed that we put an additional $10,000 into the capital reserve fund, which would give, let's see, it's at 56 now, it would give it $66,000. And because it has money in it, it is coming before the budget committee at 7 o'clock tonight. So that is why we are meeting in this special meeting. So Ben and David, comments, thoughts?
I'm just curious, do we know where the 2022 ratio study is in process?
It's coming close to the end. They're trying to find, they have 13 deeds that they can use. So they're trying to find others. They have to have 20.
So it's in process,
It's in the process.
not
It's
finished yet.
close to the end. I suspect we'll have it. I'll know more on Friday. How's that? Because I'm meeting with them.
Okay. Yeah, that would really be helpful for everybody to have.
Yes, it sure would.
Do you have more thoughts, questions? Ben?
No comments at this time.
Okay. I have done quite a bit of thinking about this since we first heard that there might be a petition article. And one of, well, I have several thoughts. One is that I think the cost estimate, I'm not sure where that came from. Tonight at the budget committee meeting, we will maybe get that information, but Dina received an actual written quote for conducting a full statistical revaluation from Vision. I was gonna say Verizon, I didn't get that
Close.
quite right, but possibly they're expanding. And it was $99,500. So I'm just a little bit worried. I think from my standpoint, we've spent a lot of time trying to hold costs down. Doing another revaluation at this point, I think is premature and expensive. I think the market is very volatile, and I would like to see us wait till it settles down, and it could be another year, it could be another 2 years, or then if by chance we are not within an acceptable range, which the 2021 reval was, then either the state will kick us into doing a new one, or we can see that it's settled, or we'll get the 5-year mark and we'll do it. I hate to spend the money twice, and we don't have the money to spend twice right now. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I say kind of the same thing. We worked hard since I've been on the board, and since everybody's been on the board, to keep costs down. And it seems that doing a reval so quickly is not keeping costs down. There's no guarantee of the result. The small group of people that have been working on this petition bring up fairness, that some properties weren't treated the same as other properties, but the reality is property taxes aren't fair. If you want to solve that problem, go to Concord get a broad-based tax, get a sales tax, get an income tax, and assess those problems in the proper manner. But as the town of Lyme, there's no reason to expect the results of another reval done by professionals is gonna, with the market the same, is gonna produce anything but the same as results.
Is it possible to respond?
Not right now.
Okay.
This is the board. We did not schedule a public comment. The budget committee will be happy to hear from people, I'm sure. Any further thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Ben and I agree with you. You know, you can always look at a reevaluation like the one we had in, recently and identify errors. But, one thing about the errors that, if any, that exist in our current system is that they are random. They're not the result of somebody putting their thumb on the scale and trying to achieve a particular result. And I worry about doing a revaluation now, and it seems to me that what this petition is seeking to do is it's asking the board to put its thumb on the scale to try to achieve a result that at least some subset of the town would like to see. I'm uncomfortable with that. I think, you know, that's not the way the property tax is supposed to work, and I worry that if you have the select board putting its thumb on the scale and trying to achieve a particular result, even if well-intentioned, that folks might not like where that ends up going.
So I would like to read something that I would like Ben and David, if they agree with it, we can all agree, and it will go forward to the budget committee for their consideration. And following the reading of this, I would like us to take a vote, if that meets with your approval. This is dated this morning, February 8th, from the Board of Selectmen. 2021 townwide property assessment revaluation was completed successfully, but it has continued to be challenged by a number of individuals. Those individuals have proposed a petition warrant article for the upcoming town meeting to request second townwide assessment revaluation. Under New Hampshire law, townwide reassessments must be done at least once every 5 years. The board respectfully disagrees with the premise that a new townwide revaluation should be conducted at this time. Of the 1,058 properties listed in town, only 61 individuals sought an assessment abatement, and 34 of those requests were granted. The cost of redoing the full statistical revaluation would be significant, $99,500. And there is no certainty that the results would be materially different from those obtained in 2021. The board believes it is wiser to wait until the pandemic-induced changes to the local real estate market have worked themselves out before again undertaking a townwide reassessment. David, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Ben, you agree with that? So, for the budget committee meeting that is happening tonight, we do have the petition warrant article, and we need to take an actual vote on whether we recommend this or do not recommend it. So I would like a motion in a second.
I'll move that we do not recommend it.
I'll second.
Thank you, David. All those in favor of the motion to not recommend, say aye.
David, aye?
Then I,
Judy, aye. So that is unanimous. And I will pass this letter around, we can all sign it, and we will deliver it to the budget committee tonight. Now, do we wish to hear from folks now, or do we wish to close this meeting and then we can hear from folks at the budget committee?
it doesn't, we've got time now, it's already here.
Careful, that would be wet.
Okay. Mr. Bigelow, you raised your hand first, did you wish to speak?
I wanted to correct what I think you spoke in error and would invalidate that vote that you just took, which is that a statistical reappraisal is not the same thing as a reappraisal of the whole properties of Lyme. 99,500 would be a reappraisal, and a statistical reevaluation would be $50,000 to $60,000. It's quite different, and I've been speaking to appraisers around the state to get their opinions on that. I didn't get an official quote, I was calling as a private citizen. But for you to say a statistical reevaluation
Yep.
is not the same thing as a
The,
reappraisal.
I can answer that in, the petition seeks to have a full statistical revaluation. The quote we got was for a full statistical revaluation, and it was $99,500. And you, I believe, were given a copy of that at the last budget committee meeting, or you had requested one and we had one available for you.
Yeah, but I don't think the word statistical was in it. I think it was a full revaluation.
I double checked, and it was written exactly
Okay,
that,
okay.
But I thank you for
yeah.
calling what could be a big difference to our attention, but I'm fairly certain that we are correct in that.
Okay.
Jan,
So, when the DRA was here a few weeks ago, I only wanna point out that this was their recommendation, having heard what the problems are. And the $55,000 number came, I believe, from them.
okay, and I'd like to correct a misunderstanding. They were here giving a, if you will, class in assessing 101. They were not here, they were not brought here to talk to the town of Lyme about the town of Lyme's problems. They did answer some questions from individuals, but they agreed to
But
come
they did.
to let people know, yes, but they didn't come to talk about the town's problems.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen, Judy. It did happen.
I'm correcting what went out on the listserv. That
Sorry,
was
what?
Incorrect, that they came to talk to the town of Lyme for, to talk specifically about the town of Lyme's problems. They did not. They came to let people in the town know what the process is and how it goes. They did answer questions from people specific to the town of Lyme, but that's not why they came.
You
And
understand?
I can't speak to,
That you-
I don't remember all of the questions they answered, so I'm not sure
Oh,
about
there's a
that.
tape.
But, the 99.5 is the cost to do what you're requesting and what we got a quote for. It's the same thing, the same wording. Maybe people's thoughts are different.
They did say at that meeting that there was no guarantee we'd even find somebody to do a town-wide reevaluation. That appraisers were few and
No,
far
I heard what they
between.
said, thank you.
Okay,
Can I ask a question? The revaluation that you did, how much does that cost? The full revaluation that is that's being contested?
It was on a cyclical cycle, so it had been done, in chunks.
Uh-huh.
And it was 35, I think was what Tom did.
35,000.
But that was-
39,583.
There you go.
so it's done quarterly,
But that was
a quarter each year for 4 years, and then in the 5th year, it's all put together.
It's all put together.
So then it was about $160,000.
Probably,
Somewhere,
if you add, right?
it's somewhere around 15,000 a year for 4 years, so 30, 60, plus it'd be 90.
Oh, so
somewhere-
15 a year for 4 years, so it's about
It's about
$99,000.
20 a year. His
Was it that
regular-
much?
His regular,
His regular
yeah,
rate,
it's about 20,
And so then it was for 4 years or 5?
yeah, 4.
4, and then the 5th year
30,
is the 30,
then
35.
Right, so that was a full revaluation, which matches the quote that you got from Vision. I'm just wondering about the full revaluation versus the statistical revaluation, because it does seem like the bar to do is, if I'm understanding, maybe I'm making some assumptions, the statistical revaluation is just going to look at the statistical work that's already been done and not collect
Right.
new information. So that should be less expensive than a full revaluation where you actually have to collect the information. So
Should be, but
we could check it, but maybe that, it seems
not
like
what I
it
got
should
from
cost
them.
less.
Well, okay,
I just know what I got from Vision, that's all I can tell you.
we specifically asked for a quote because we were concerned. about the cost
Right.
and not having the funds available. Yes,
So Judy, I did wanna also take issue with, I don't remember exactly who said it, but there was someone here said that the discrepancies appeared to be random. And I think that's not the case, that, what the observed objective facts are that the high value properties wind up with a larger discount on their property tax than the lower value properties. And there's a fairly clear distinction between properties less than $500,000 and more. And so I think it's just, I wanna state that this is not random. This is not fair, it's not equitable.
Is it intentional?
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. I mean, the problem, as I understand it, is that the factors that went into the CAMA model produced this inequity. There are a large number of problems that
How
we
would
pointed
you,
out.
how would you avoid it a second time if the process is the same?
Well, I mean, part of it is we have asked repeatedly for data from the town.
You've gotten lots of data from the town.
But we have not received the answers to the questions that we have asked. And so we are unable to make the distinction between why properties were included and why properties were excluded in the revaluation. That's been a continuing request, and
I thought that was one of the things the state addressed in their,
the state said we could send them a request, but if I remember, Sam Green said that we could go to the town hall and ask for that information.
And I sent that to Hebe
That has been sent to Hebe now?
in January.
okay, so I'm gonna,
So,
we're going to stop here because we're gonna be rehashing the same thing that we've talked about before.
very good.
And you're going to be presenting
I certainly will.
15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Okay.
So I think all the people that are here will have an opportunity to hear more. Just let it know that we do not believe it is in the best interest of the town to go
Mhm.
forward at this point. Do we wish to take a second vote?
no,
You moved, you seconded,
No.
okay.
I'd just like to say that it's my sense that Dina and the select board, in the person of Dina, have made a pretty substantial effort to provide information to folks who've asked and to try to be transparent and open and respond to questions. To the extent that I feel like Dina's ability to do some of the other stuff that she has to do as a town employee has been sometimes a little compromised. The volume of information that she's been requested and the number of inquiries she's fielded have been fairly voluminous from a fairly small number of people. And so when you say, oh, we haven't gotten the answers to the questions, I personally, I find that a little frustrating. I think you guys sometimes maybe, or sometimes people aren't cognizant of the amount of, the extent to which they are imposing on town employees to respond to this stuff. I understand there's an interest and a concern about these things, but, you know, at some point, you gotta draw a line and say, okay, we've given you everything we can give you.
Okay, so, thank you, David, I think we all share that frustration, I know you folks are frustrated as well, but it's become sort of all time consuming, and we do have other work that we have to get done. I'm going to close this special session of the select board meeting. Dan, tell me what time it is now? 6:09. And I will move that at 6:49, and I need a second. Thank you, David. All those in favor of closing the session, say aye. And Judy, aye. Okay, so we are finished with this, and does Ben or Dina have the letter that will go to
I already made copies of your signatures.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we can attach this to the minutes.
To the minutes,
with
that
the
would be great
signature
if
on
you
it.
would do that, okay, and we can reorient if you would like us to, or we'll stay here for your budget committee.